Greatness Coaching with Heidi M.
Today is the very first edition of Greatness Coaching with Heidi M here on eRadio. Heidi Mulense, what a pleasure to have you on the show. I think to start off with, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hello, it is wonderful to talk to you today. What do you want to know, Ian?
Okay, well, I know a lot about you. That sounds creepy. I know you're an actress.
It does.
You're a very...
Do you need help?
You're a very good actress, I can tell you that. A very good actress. You're a voice actress. You're also a lecturer. Is there anything you cannot do?
Well, I can tell you off air. Yes, I love my life. I love my jobs. I've been an actress in television, radio, and film and stage for the past 25 years.
Sure.
And I've also been lecturing for many, many years. And voice artistry, that is just something that has such a special place in my heart. I love doing voice work, voiceovers and dubbing and that kind of thing. So yes, I'm loving my life. I also recently, is a year ago recently,
pretty much.
moved moved on to expand a little, and that is including life coaching at the moment. That kind of came about because I am completely obsessed with human behavior. I really love studying people and finding out why they think what they think and how what they think affects their lives. And that is something that we very much do when we perform characters. So one can say I've been studying people for 25 years and then found this way of combining my passion for helping people with my passion for studying people, and that became life coaching, and here I am.
That's fantastic. I never actually thought of it this way. Obviously, when you play characters, you do research and you delve into the emotions of that character, and then you understand people much better because you become that character, especially when you're learning your lines, you know?
Exactly. And that thing that you just said, Ian, become the character. That is the crux of acting, is not to pretend to be the character, but to be the character. So you hit the nail on the head there. We have to absorb so much of that character and be so much absorbed in it. It's two sides of the same coin that I always say to my students, it must actually be as if you have that character's DNA for the time that you are portraying the character.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a whole psychological ball game, this acting game, this sport of acting.
Fascinating. I think it's absolutely fascinating. If the camera actually liked me, I wouldn't mind being an actor myself, but it doesn't like me. So
I think you would be very good. And how do you know the camera does not like you?
Oh no, I just know it. When people take photos of me, there's some kind of conspiracy there.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But you, on the other hand, I mean, you sound great and you look great. And today we're discussing motivation or lack thereof. Heidi, I think in the times we're living in, I mean, many of us find ourselves unemployed or on the other side of a big pay cut even. So with it comes a lot of stress and uncertainty and ultimately lack of motivation. I mean, we wake up, you can't get up. We find ourselves wondering, why should I get up? I don't have a job anymore, or they don't appreciate me. So why carry on? What do you say to that?
Yes, it is indeed very hard to stay motivated when it feels as if your personal life is not going the way that you hoped it would be, or that the country is on such a downward trajectory, that how can you even contemplate still standing when everything is falling apart around you? And I think the most important thing about motivation is to know that you must have something that you are gunning for. There must be at least one thing that you really want, one thing that you really hope to accomplish, one thing that interests you enough that you really, you don't just want it, you need it. That will give you motivation. And I think if we all just take a few minutes and just go and sit in nature or somewhere where it's quiet, where you will not be disturbed by phones going off or people needing you, and just sitting there for yourself, asking yourself, what in a perfect world, if money was no objective, if everything was going to go right, what would I want? What, in my perfect world, what would I want? Where would I be? And there you will find your goal. And once you have a goal or something that you are going to move towards, or something that you feel inside you really need, there you will find what you need to be motivated for. But you need to be very clear on what it is. It can't be a fuzzy thing. Even if it didn't go too badly with you under these COVID circumstances, even if everything was going fine and you were still earning your salary, people can feel demotivated because everything becomes a little bland after a while. There's like, nothing makes me really happy, but also nothing really makes me very sad. Yeah. So you're kind of an in-between. And I think that's actually a very difficult and a sticky and quite an awful place to be, when there's just nothing excites me, nothing moves me, nothing makes me very, very stressed or very angry or very happy. It's just dreadful to be there. And even under those circumstances, it doesn't need to be very bad for you in this life. It can be mediocre. You need to go and sit and find a goal, something that you are going to work towards. Only if you have goals and responsibilities can your life have any meaning. And it's often when when we find that we don't mean anything to anybody or to something, that we lose our motivation. If there's no responsibility for you, you will not be motivated to do anything. If you don't have a goal, something to work towards, you will not be motivated to do anything, and you will have a bland, mediocre existence. And we were not created to have bland, mediocre existence. We were created to excel and to be victorious in life. And the only way you can reach that is to have a goal and be very clear about the goal. What is it? What is it? Get clarity for yourself. And then you're going to start moving towards it. You are going to say to yourself, right, this is what I want in life. If it's not for you, let it be for your children or your family or your loved ones. If it's not enough to motivate you that you have a goal for yourself, include other people in that goal. That will motivate you to move forward and to do what you can.
Heidi, how do I know that I'm not demotivated, or how do I know I have depression? Is there actually a difference?
There's a big difference between being demotivated and being depressed. Depression is something that we can certainly have a talk about at some point, and I think that's very important that we do talk about this thing. I can say that the signs of depression, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a psychologist and I'm not pretending to be that, but there are certain other signs of depression that are very clear. It's like when you are demotivated for a certain period of time, when you are losing interest in even the smallest little things in life and things that used to make you excited or moved you, for example, having dinner with your family, or going to church on a Sunday, or at least attending something online these days. If you lose your will for those small things in life, then it's a definite sign that depression could be coming your way. And like I said, I will definitely elaborate on this in another talk that you and I have. But being demotivated could be a precursor to depression. So it's not a thing to actually discover that you are demotivated and then not do anything about it. Look, we all become demotivated at some point, but it's up to us to go, listen, I realize what's going on with me right now. Be in tune with yourself. Be in touch with yourself. Have your internal dialogue. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself some questions. Be alert, awake, and aware about yourself. Because if you start being demotivated and you don't even notice it, it could lead to other things that are going to be way more difficult to turn around. And I'm also thinking about burnout here. Demotivation is also a precursor to burnout, and very often burnout also leads to depression. So I think depression would be the clinical condition that you find yourself in when you need professional help, whereas demotivation, somebody like a life coach or a good friend or a family member can actually help you get your behind into gear, But in order for anything to happen, you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to talk to yourself, and you have to have honest and open conversations with yourself,
Heidi, so you would say that having goals is absolutely important. How do I know whether or not my goals are realistic?
When you're setting goals, you need to be specific, and you need to make your goal measurable, and you need to be able to set out the action steps that you are going to take towards reaching your goal. Your goal would be unrealistic if it's, let's take an example. Let's say somebody weighs 120 kilos and they would or want to lose 60 of those kilos by next month. That is unrealistic. You need to apply a good dose of logic. Why don't you then rather chunk it down, make small little chunk goals? Yeah. So by next month, I would have liked to lose 4 to 5 kilos. That is realistic. How do I know that is realistic? I research. I check. How much am I supposed to eat? We've got the world is our oyster. We have Google. We can just ask Google what is a realistic amount of weight to lose over a certain period of time. So you have to apply your logic. And the second you can say that there's a time limit or a time span on this goal, by the end of this year, I want 500,000 Rand in my bank account. I can say that. But now, how am I going to get there? So am I going to work for it? Do I have a plan in working for it? Am I going to save for it? Am I going to rob a bank? You see. So you have to also see for yourself that your goal is environment friendly. Robbing a bank is not friendly to the environment because that is against the law. Similarly, you can't have a goal that says, I want to win the lottery. Mm-hmm. Your goal is not realistic if it involves other people or luck. Your goal can only be realistic if it involves you and what you are going to do about it, because the lotto is luck. And you also can't say that you're going to bribe somebody at the lottery office to make you win, because that would involve other people. Does that make sense? That's how you gauge if your goal is realistic. You must be able to measure it. You must be very specific. Not, I want 500,000 Rand in my bank account.
Yeah,
when
it is
when do you want that? By the 25th of December. Also, if you say, I want more money, that is not a goal. Because you're going to walk in the street and maybe you pick up a 2 Rand coin. So now you have more money. You see, so you have to be specific about it. You have to measure your goal. You have to list the action steps that you are going to take. You must list the people whose lives will be positively affected by you reaching your goal. Those are all steps that you can take. And if you take those steps, you will find that it is a realistic goal. Something airy-fairy that is not measurable and that you don't really have action steps for, that will never be realistic.
Sure. Heidi, thank you so much. This has been really, really nice. I really enjoyed it. Today we spoke about motivation and goals. Next time, we're going to talk about procrastination. That kind of stems from motivation. Yeah.
Procrastination is not our friend. Yes, we will definitely discuss that nasty, nasty one.
I'm going to tell you, I'm also a procrastinator, so that's going to be very interesting. I can't wait.
Don't worry, I'm going to help you out.
Heidi, thank you so much. How can we get in touch with you?
Oh, wonderful. Yes, you can reach me on Facebook. That's my Greatness Coaching page. And that is at Greatness Coaching with Heidi M. And then my Instagram handle is at Greatness Coaching. Or you can email me at heidi@homebound.co.za.
Love the way you articulate. Heidi, thank you so much.
Viva voice training.
Brilliant. I love it. Also, till next time, also remember that Greatness Coaching with Heidi M is available as a podcast on our website, eRadioSA.com. Heidi, thanks so much once again.
Loving it. Thank you, Eon. Talk to you soon.